Now live somewhere from Miami, it's Cooking with Rudy. Today we're going to do Beef Stroganoff. This is part of my live series, and what we want to do here is see how we can get this thing to go. This is a recipe I have not done. You guys are wondering whatever happened to my other recipe, which was sweet Stroganoff. That one, the dumplings were very messy. I'm not sure if it was something with the flour. I did use the right type of flour that the recipe called for, but the thing became a sticky mess, and I spent New Year's Eve, which is kind of what I planned, instead of being on a boat, I actually spent my day cooking, and the dinner was ready about 10:30 last year, and well, that's not exactly what we're going for. The meal was really good. The first day was awesome, but I think the milk products in there, at least according to my mom, made it not so great the next day. I mean, it was still okay, but this is the kind of meal that you want to fix, and it'll take like 2 and something hours. And we kind of disagree on that concept, because if I think something is worth it, I'll take my time. I don't have to have the instant tea. Or instant coffee. I can take my time and get it where I want it, make it taste really good. So what we're doing here is we're just going to cook potatoes here. Traditionally, beef stroganoff is served, at least what I've seen, with noodles. But recently I was actually at a Russian restaurant, and it was the best beef stroganoff I've ever had. Beef stroganoff has a funny history with me. I remember actually having that in basic training, and the guy in front of me of the line asked for it by a very particular name that I can't repeat because I like to keep my rating up, but I swear he said beef something else. Ew. So anyway, we don't have to go through, cutting up potatoes. The one thing that I did, if you look at the picture on that precedes this thing, you can see that I laid out all the ingredients. What I did this time, usually when I'm cooking, to kind of speed up the time, because I really don't expect you guys to sit here and watch me cut stuff for an hour or for that long of a time. I'm trying to speed up the recipe, even though it is cooking raw, so I really don't know what the result. This is actually my first attempt, so if it turns out really badly, then obviously I just scrap it. Cutting up potatoes in small pieces, because these are going to actually end up being mashed potatoes. And again, like I said, I laid out all my ingredients as we go. So here we go. Alright, top sirloin, thinly sliced. So I guess you guys are going to watch me slice something here. I already went ahead and washed the meat. And I'm looking for suggestions on how to make this. I mean, I don't want to make this look like, bam, here it is. But I also want to not be too incredibly boring. I do have to say that I still have to work on my ratings, even on YouTube with this. They could be better. Versus if you compare it to like my arcade 1-up, which does very well. So what we're going for here, actually, we're going to put this in a bowl. Just going to thinly cut up this meat here. So let's cut it up in thin strips. This is actually coincidentally the same type of meat that I had for the sweet Stroganoff. So I'm just going to do tiny little slithers. If I see any imperfections in the meat, I'll go ahead and toss that piece away. So what we're after is, like I said, we're going to do 2 sets of these, according to the recipe. And this is probably the least exciting part of it. I mean, I don't know why you guys come over and watch the show. I do appreciate it. I know some of you guys are watching on Facebook. Some of you guys are watching on YouTube, on my channel that covers everything. I'm just going to give myself a quick advertisement that I also have a big channel on Arcade 1-Ups, where I'm definitely a better arcade mod technician than I am a cooking technician, that's for sure. But hey, you know, you got to start somewhere. The main reason I'm doing the cooking thing is the fact that I want to demonstrate that you know, cooking is something that I was always kind of hesitant about. You're talking to a guy who considered cooking applying heat to something. Now, whether it was actually last night's pizza, or if I'm actually making some kind of recipe. And the story behind this, for those of you that don't know, when I moved into the house here, every place I've been in, all my apartments have always had a very nice or decent kitchen that I really didn't utilize very much. And when I bought my house, the house came with, could only describe as a very basic kitchen. And there's the first bowl. And, you know, here, I don't know how you guys have it, where you guys do your own maintenance and things. But I figure it would be that hard. I watch my parents, you know, get maintenance people all the time. You know, I spent 20 years in a place where, you know, you go with the landlord, hey man, it's broken, please fix it. And most of the time it gets done. So I figured that, you know, the kitchen didn't have a dishwasher or anything else. So I went and I spent several hours at Lowe's picking out the perfect tile, picking out this kitchen to make my my place awesome. I wanted a double sink because I don't even know how to deal with a single side sink to wash all my dishes. And I spent the next 6 months building my kitchen because it was just a freaking nightmare. So I do what I always did, and I went out, you know, McDonald's, Burger King, all those places every day, and I actually found myself to actually get burned out on those. And this is one of the reasons, like I said, that I started doing this cooking thing with Rudy, because I wanted to get other people who may not be the greatest of cooks to get them out there and, you know, try different things. And that's kind of what I did. And, you know, as I didn't even have a kitchen sink to work with, I would work and I would pull down recipes off the internet, things that interested me, favorite foods. One good thing about cooking it yourself is you know exactly what you did to it. You know where you messed up. You know all your ingredients. So I think that's a really cool thing about, you know, kind of doing it yourself. Now, again, I'm all for supporting our local businesses, especially in time of COVID. But I have noticed some places that the quality has not been the best. Okay, this is a bunch of fat here. So I'm checking the rest of this. Alright, from the top. I figure out where. There it is. Okay. A large deep pan. Good stuff. Let me do everything right here in front of you. I think I got the best camera angle I could find. And we'll see how things work. Okay. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And what I did is I laid my stuff out in order. You might be able to see kind of back here. But I laid it in order of use, and I put them in little containers. Now this is good for me. You can actually measure them out. That's not a big deal. I just didn't want to sit here and measure stuff out. I want to have everything kind of ready. And we want to get it really hot. Rudy can do that. Everything is always hot. Let's see. Okay, now what we're going to do is add beef strips. And we're supposed to do this in 2 batches. We're not supposed to stir them. We're supposed to kind of plop them in. And I'm glad you guys are here watching. I know some of you guys are just hoping to see a fire. Anyway, glad you're here. Okay, so what we're going to do is same thing like sweet Stroganoff. We're going to kind of brown this meat. Okay, so make sure I don't screw this up. Cook until brown. Stir in 2 batches. Okay, and then, as I know, you should know, you want to make sure that you do not recycle the same bowl you started with. That would not be a good thing. That's how we get food poisoning. Again, you know what you did to your stuff. Okay. So what we're looking for is a little bit of a brown effect on this stuff here. The other thing I'm also wondering, for the guys that are actually out there doing some YouTube stuff, I want to know how you speed up some of this. Because, I mean, I would love to go through my arcade one and actually speed it up. I mean, this part right now is kind of slow. So if you guys got any ideas on how to speed up the video, or if you have to use an external editor, please comment below. And again, I get called out a lot on what I'm doing here, which is high everything. Yeah, we're doing this for just a quick browning. So we're going to rotate this up. We want to get rid of the red. That's kind of what we're after. Insert bad political joke here. Alright, by the time we get done rotating this thing, we'll be done. Now, so what we're looking for is, how red this stuff is, we want to make sure we kind of turn it brownish. That's our goal here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look through these as we go. Put them on the plate. It's actually going pretty quickly. Yeah, this is the part I actually want to speed up, because like I said, this is kind of like watching paint dry. But you know, there's always a chance. Okay. Yeah, nice and Now what we don't want to do is we want to make sure that we throw this other meat on here as fast as possible. We don't want to destroy a pan. Put this down a bit. And I'm not seeing my garlic sauce evaporated, so I'm just going to very carefully maybe the person that had this didn't have the super stove here that I got, or maybe I should use a smaller burner. So we're going for the browning effect. And I'm going to slow this down because I did forget one thing. I'm actually going to turn it off. Is I forgot about my onion. So I'm going to cut up an onion real quick here in the background. Yes, you know, like I said, this is Cooking with Rudy Live, and that's exactly what it is, and things that I forget. And I do believe that this is the only thing I still have to prep. So, with one eye I'm watching my meat, the other part I'm peeling my onion. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to chop this up in tiny little pieces. I don't know if you guys can see that from here. And I have an awesome device that I've used, I think, in every single video that I've had. So this will be one medium onion. Back a little bit. Okay. That awesome device is this little chopper. We got it set on fine. I'm going to put this in. The smaller pieces you got, you don't want to break this thing. Onion, the rest of the sink. Alright, I think we're okay. Now we're going to rotate, 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 rotate. Turn it back up to 8. Alright, we're going to take our onion and we're going to dump it into a tray. We dump the mess and put it in the sink where we will have a larger mess later. Okay. Oh yeah, I lied. So we got our onion, we'll put that here. Now while that's going on, we need to go through and grab our mushrooms. We're going to use the larger scale cutter. And lid. So the recipe calls for, let's see, mushrooms. Half a pound. I like mushrooms. The legal kind. Yes, the jokes only get worse as the program progresses. Yeah, that's definitely done. So I'm going to turn this down again. gun. I'm going to chop up some mushrooms. So, same thing. Throw it in. And you know what? This is a dangerous grounds, but I say, you know what? If you got comments, things how I can improve this, let me know. If you think I'm awesome, let me know. If you think I'm suck, well, please be gentle. Okay, we're going to take the rest of these out of here because they're starting to... And the meat is going to be replaced with the inside, you believe. That should not tear up our really nice pan. Okay, some of that's a little too well done. Okay, let's see. Alright. Aha. Alright, I'm going to take this off to the side. And we need to do our mushrooms real quick. So I guess this is the craziness that all the reality shows have. Oh no, it's a fire. I gotta have it now. And one thing about my food is there's always a big mess. One set of mushrooms. Here's the other. Oops, we need to put them in a bowl. One bowl. Mushrooms go in. And reload. Kind of sort of reminds me of the movie Weird Science. They forgot to hook up the doll. But you know what? My videos are honest. They're as I do. If I screw it up early, I will delete it. But actually, some stuff has been better than others, and I have not deleted anything yet. And the last one. Okay, awesome. Alright, throw this in the sink. One thing sucks about this cutter that it is really hard to clean, I will have to say that. Okay, got my full container of mushrooms. A few on the floor. Alright, what's next? Alright, next thing we're going to do, let's do 2 batches. Okay, add a tablespoon of butter. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add a little bit more garlic oil. And put it here on 6. I'm going to put in our 2 spoons of butter. Now the butter that I'm using actually has a splitter, so it shows you exactly where you cut it. So this measures out 2 tablespoons. Okay, now we're going to put in the onions. And the mushrooms. So I'm going to, based on my previous experience, I'm going to stir this. I got a feeling this is going to go quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually dump this in as soon as this cube melts. Do this, it makes it kind of hard to see. Down to about 6 works. And we're going to do this for 6 to 8 minutes. So again, this is one of those things where I really wish I had a way to speed this up so we can kind of see how this works. If you want, come back 6 to 8 minutes, or you can continue with me. I gotta say, mushrooms are one of my favorites. So now I got mushrooms in here, butter, onions, and olive oil. I was also curious to see for some of my cooking friends, is there a really big difference between, like, say, a really expensive bottle of olive oil and this, or I even have a really super special one that looks like this. So all I'm doing is I'm turning this stuff. Now, onions I know give off a little bit of water, but since the fact that I put quite a few onions in here, I feel that I better add a little bit more butter. Oops. What's really funny is when you televise this, like I'm doing, the mess in the sink is even bigger. Well, one thing I do want to wish all my friends, it's been a while and it's been a really turbulent 2020. I'm really hoping for a more prosperous 2021. The events of the last few days have been very interesting. I don't want to get political on here, but yeah, I'm not too stoked about that. Oh, coincidentally, the apron I'm wearing is from Harmon's Cafe. This is the predecessor of KFC. KFC, the recipe, was originally first sold in Utah at a place called Harmon's Cafe. Now what I'm seeing now is obviously the size has gone down here as I'm stirring. The onions are turning colors for me. The mushrooms don't appear to be raw anymore, which is also something I was going for, because this is the largest pan I own. I usually do all my rice dishes in this one. So we got 3 minutes left on here. All we're doing is we're just stirring. And at the bottom is some awesome looking little sauce. I think this is what we're after. I want to make sure we didn't have a completely dried up pan. So I would say about 3 tablespoons of butter, I think, on here with a little bit of, actually quite a bit of olive oil. I heard something that you're not really supposed to cook with olive oil. It's supposed to break down. But as far as health, though, we got onions. We're going to have garlic. I think it's a 50-50. My personal opinion on diet is everything within reason. Okay, 2 more minutes left here. See what our potatoes are doing. I still need a little bit more. Getting there though. Clear the sink for that. So the mashed potatoes are actually pretty simple. What we're going to do is use my handy dandy that I got from my friends from Oman when I was in college. Just in the sink. And let's get some butter ready too. Okay, now we're going to be mixing in garlic, and stir it with garlic for 1 minute. Very, very precise. I like garlic. I'm going to put in a little bit more. Good thing I'm doing this on a day where I'm not actually working. I don't think I'd have any friends left. Ooh, that smells delicious. Okay. So 1 minute, and we're going to add 1 tablespoon of flour. It's right here. Mix in the flour. Okay, I'm going to turn this down a little bit to 4. Let's see. Okay, now we're going to put in our cup of beef broth. And while we're doing that, we're going to take care of our potatoes. So our potatoes are done. Let's see, the rear, I'm going to turn that down to 3. This is going to be hot. Dump in sink. Drain water. Works beautifully. Put potatoes back in. Now comes the fun part. So we're going to cut a little bit of butter. Hello. Good catch. And I usually use milk, but since we don't have any, or we do, but we got still a little bit of this, we're going to use this sparingly. And we're going to begin to mash this. Bit more Just a tad. A little bit more. We've got mashed potatoes, so we turn off this burner. I'm going to move this over to the center. And we're going to put it on the warming zone on the lowest setting we got. And we're going to go back to stirring. And we're going to also add our 3/4 cup of whipping cream, which is right here. Okay, about 1 or 2 minutes here, so we'll set the cooking timer. Now, one thing I did here that we're going to have an issue with, I already see, is my sauce is very runny. So, I was told to fix that by adding a little bit of flour, so I'm going to try that here again to help thicken up the sauce. Oop, that's sugar. That would not be good. So I'm going to add another spoon or 2 to help thicken this up. Oh, cool. All right, so we're going to stir this. We're going to stir this thoroughly. Okay, now this is looking more like a sauce. So, I'm not sure you can see this, but here's what we got going on. I'm going to speed this up a little bit more to about 6. And we're running out of ingredients, so that means we've got to be getting close to getting this done here. Okay, it's bubbling. We don't want that. But the sauce is getting thicker. Okay, next thing we'll be doing is stirring in 1 cup. Sorry, let's try that again. That is 1/4 cup of sour cream. I might have to get some assistance with this. Yeah, that goes in sync. And this goes on being mixed. Let's see. Okay, I'm supposed to turn it down, which I did. It's on 4. I'm not sure what curdle is. I'm also looking for a definition on that one. If you guys want to comment, hey, this is all about interaction. Okay. I feel like this is pretty well getting stirred. Ooh. All right. Now we're going to stir in 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Half a teaspoon of Grey Poupon. Remember those commercials? Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? So we got a half a tablespoon of that. Have to get a spoon to help out with that too. Try to keep these things as accurate as the recipe calls for. Okay. And now, oh, bubbling again. I'll turn that down. Okay, let's see. Mustard, we got half a teaspoon of salt. Make sure I got that right. Half a teaspoon of salt. So, let's see. Half, half, half. And then 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. While we're here, we're gonna add a little bit to our mashed potatoes. Okay. And we want to stir. All the ingredients. Add beef. So now we're going to be adding beef again. We'll let our beef take on the flavor of our delicious sauce. Dump this in. And my clock says 11:03. I don't know how long my video has been running, but I'd say it's pretty dang close to lunchtime. I think today I'm actually going to do what I promised before, and that's actually go out to the Everglades and check out what's out there. So now we're just going to stir. So the end result will be, we're going to take this beautiful mess. Well, first we're going to do is we're going to add mashed potatoes on the plate. And we're going to add the meat next to it, or on the side of it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is beef stroganoff. Thank you so much for watching. If you like, please like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. On Facebook, give me some comments. Let me know how this was. And I'll get you guys later. Have a good one. Have a great week.